All right, what is poppin' party pundits? We're in for another episode. This is episode. We are the pundits of pugilism. This is Professor Nims. I'm signing on for Boston Jared.
What up?
The Casual Rand.
What up, though?
And Coach Dave isn't with us this weekend, but we got our first guest pundit. And we got your boy Fuji, your favorite fight fan.
What's up? What's up?
All right. So he is, as he said, your favorite fight fan, and he brings his own kind of unique flavor of expertise. But we're not going to bore you with all of the intros. We do want to remind you to like and subscribe before we get into this. We got a lot of boxing to talk about, particularly the fights over the weekend in DC. But we want to jump into this and talking about your boy Gervonta Tank Davis rolling over Hector Garcia. It was a 9th round TKO. He hit the guy so hard that he blinded him, left him blind in the corner, and searching for his walking stick. But with that said, we're gonna let the casual one jump off this segment. I think
you're not gonna start off with our guest.
Well, no, we usually what we do is
go first.
What we usually do.
No manners. What that Southern hospitality? Why?
Well, what I was gonna say is we usually let the person who is able to get the actual pick right start off the segment. So,
all right.
Yeah. So since I did call the 9th round and I predicted it correctly, I'm not trying to toot my own horn on this, but if you watch multiple Tank fights, you see that the first 5 rounds he's filling you out, he's giving it, he's taking it, and I think by the 5th round he understood that he could take Garcia's power, so he sat in the pocket and he started hitting him and he started touching him, and then a lot of people were like are saying online on the social medias are saying that Tank get hit too much. No, I think that dude purposefully stood right there in the pocket and he was like, I'm gonna get this dude out. And I think during the pause and the break during when Gary Russell was causing that havoc in the stand, I think he even said it when he started back. He yelled something to Garcia, pretty much was like, hey, I'm about to knock your ass out. And sure enough, man, he hit Buddy hard. But it wasn't just that one punch. He was hitting that dude hard. Like the last from 6 on, Garcia was getting hit with some pretty hard shots. And I kudos to him because he ate it and he was trying to give it just as good as he received. But that last one to the temple, he said it going back to the ring. When he got hit and the bell rung, he was walking to the wrong corner. And then when he got to his corner, he was like, yo, I can't see. He was like, I can't see. When he sat down, I was like, yo, they gonna stop this shit.
Yeah, as soon as yeah.
All right. With that said, we're gonna kick it off to Fuji, your favorite fight fan. So were you impressed with Tank's performance, or did you see anything? Because there were some critics out there that would give you any kind of pause.
Me myself, I'm always impressed with Tank's performance, especially because people say he's not a good boxer and he doesn't have good footwork, but he really does. And like Randy said, he will sit in the pocket. He says that he'll sit there and test your power to see if he can take it. And once he feel like he can take it, then he go ahead and get you out of there. That's one thing I like about him. And he got good head movement. He does his thing in there. And I was impressed by his performance because everybody thought this was going to be a big test for him. And this was going to be like a really hard fight to take before the Garcia fight. So I think he did very, very well. I like his performance.
I mean, did you have him winning at the time of the stoppage?
No, I actually had him winning earlier. I picked him for like 6 or 7.
No. What I was saying is that when he was stopped, if like looking at the scorecards, did you have Tank up on your scorecards? Is what?
Not. I can't. It was close, I could say, but it was more on the Garcia side. It was close, but that's what Tank does. Like even with the what was the other fight, the Rolly fight, it was close on that fight too. But that's what he does. He keep it close, and then he figure out how to get you out of there. So
all right, Boston Jared. your thoughts on this fight, and do you favor him more or less going into the actual Garcia fight that we want to see against Ryan?
I mean, this fight to me doesn't really impact how I perceive the outcome of the Garcia fight. I always had him picked to beat Ryan Garcia, and regardless of what happened in this fight, that wasn't going to change how I felt the Ryan Garcia fight would play out. Ryan Garcia doesn't fight like Hector Luis Garcia. Their measurables are totally different, so that wasn't going to affect that. So the answer to that question is no. The answer to the first question, I thought it was a solid performance by Tank. I've been pretty critical of on this platform of Tank's choice of opposition over the last several years. And when this fight got announced, I came on this platform and I said, hey, I rate Hector Luis Garcia, despite him moving up from 130. I thought he was a big 130 pounder. I thought that he would. I didn't think that Tank would be too big for him, or the going up in weight would affect him that much. And I thought it was a good, rock solid performance from Tank. He never really lost his poise, kept his calm the whole time, picked his shots well. Did he give up some rounds, or did Hector Luis Garcia take those rounds? It's something that I'd have to go back and watch it again to really figure that out. I had to fight even at the time of the stoppage. I didn't score it officially, but I remember Coach Dave saying that he only gave 2 rounds to Hector Luis Garcia. I said, Dave, that sounds a little bit crazy, even though it matched up with the Showtime cards, the official Showtime cards. The guy who scored it live for Showtime also had it even. And my rounds matched up pretty closely with his rounds. So yeah, but overall, rock solid performance by Tank, man. I thought that's a good opponent. I think it's one of his better opponents. Maybe the best opponent he's fought since Pedraza.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Leo Santa Cruz,
not coming up from 100, not 126 pounder, no. And Barrios was a guy who had never beaten anybody. He was moving
up too, also, but he
was, but
he had the frame. But
yeah, he was. I mean, he was taller than Tank, had longer arms than Tank. He was not a little bit light in the ass. You could see his shorts was a little baggy on him. Tank is a little bit more filled out, but Santa Cruz started his career at 126, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or even lighter, maybe.
Yeah,
so
lighter than that. I want to say 122.
No.
With that said, you don't think that there's anything in that performance that gives you pause, right? So, Ryan Garcia is 5'10", which is big for this would be 140 pounds that they would fight at. And if Tank sits in the pocket, Garcia might have the fastest hands, in boxing, where particularly his left hook. And all it takes is one left hook just banging off the top of the head to throw up your equilibrium.
That's true, but I don't know, because he's got that height advantage. He might be able to land that lead left hook over the southpaw, be able to set that up over the lead hand, the southpaw hand of Tank. But I don't believe enough in Ryan Garcia. Look,
right,
you said what?
Oh, I was about to say, can I say something? Yeah, I feel.
No, you can jump in. Yeah, jump in, Fuji.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Like Garcia, like he's just if he was smart, he would try to fight on the outside because of his length. But he's not going to be that patient. He's not going to have enough patience with Tank pressuring him. And then when he get pressured, he goes straight back on the straight line, and he don't have no head movement.
With his chin straight up in the air.
Right, and chin straight up in the air.
But if he throws that check hook, I mean, all he has to do is land. But I mean, I think Tank is going to have to find a way to kind of get inside. I mean, because Tank is going to be right. Tank is actually better, like the closer he is in the pocket. But if Ryan Garcia is disciplined, fights on the outside, fights behind his jab, then it would be interesting.
Yeah, that hook. Oh, go ahead, Randy.
I think Tank's career has led him up to this. I mean, like his last 4 fights, maybe all of them were taller. Like he's used to fighting taller, longer fighters. So his style, I don't think that Garcia's Ryan's style is a pretty much threat to him at this point. I think he understands it, and he understands to be cognizant of what Garcia does well. But I think, man, there's way more time. There's way enough time to put a game plan, and he's used to fighting taller fighters to go ahead and get Buddy up out of there.
But not with Ryan's hand speed, though. Ryan's hand speed and Ryan's power is the one thing. And the fact that Ryan Garcia has been sitting around, I wish he'd have taken that fight with Mercedo Gesta, but maybe there was some method to that madness. Maybe he comes out after working with Joe Goosen now for almost a year now, 18 months? Maybe he comes out and all that footage that Tank's team, that Calvin Ford are looking at, all that stuff is irrelevant because he's a totally different fighter now after having the time to work with Joe Goosen.
I mean, he can throw them hands in different angles, but that chin gonna be the same chin.
It is gonna be the same chin. It is gonna be the same chin, but
I mean, 5'10", I don't know if Tank has ever fought anybody at 5'10",
Well, Barrios is probably the closest. Barrios has got to be about
maybe, but he doesn't fight tall. Barrios fights from a crouch. Barrios is slow, and he definitely doesn't have that power in the lead hand. So I'm thinking about a little bit. To me, I'm going back to the trouble that Rolly, who is to me almost amateurish in some of his fighting techniques, giving Tank trouble, who was a bigger, stronger fighter, not quite as fast as a Ryan Garcia, but I could just see those kind of rounds that will kind of give people a little bit of, at least leave you a little bit pensive in watching that fight, which is the reason why we want to see the fight, actually.
The one last thing I'll say on this, if we're going to wrap up, is that Luke Campbell was the guy who famously gave Ryan Garcia his first knockdown. And I got Luke Campbell's box rec pulled up. Luke Campbell is 5'9" with a 71-inch reach, which is significant for a guy fighting at 135 pounds. And if we look up,
and then Barrios is the same. Well, Barrios is 5'10" with the 71-inch reach, and so presumably, right, we're looking at Garcia having 5 inches on Tank, but only maybe a 3.5 inch reach advantage.
Well, the point I was trying to make was Luke Campbell, with his height and his reach, was able to touch Ryan Garcia pulling straight back with his chin up in the air because of his height and his reach. Tank being 5'5" with a 67.5-inch reach, if Ryan has still got some of those bad habits, I don't know if he's able to close that distance and connect it. But Tank does have good explosive feet. He can close that distance possibly.
Get him at an angle.
Oh, get him at an angle. I'll get him at an angle. So we'll see. We'll see. If Ryan Garcia come out making the same mistakes he was making a year ago, then it's only a matter of time before Tank catches him. And I think Tank's the better fighter overall. I think Tank's on.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Anyway. I think they're almost in different classes when it comes to boxing skills. But Garcia, one thing I will say, his power has been his saving grace in a lot of his fights, and I would be interested to see how Tank deals with it. And his speed. The guy has really kind of blinding speed at times.
Yeah, very fast hands.
All right. So with that said, I'm your man. Also, just one reminder once again, make sure that you like. We need to get them subs up. But we appreciate y'all rocking with the pundits of pugilism. This is your man, Professor Nim, signing out for Fuji, your favorite fight fan, the Casual Rand.
Peace.
And Boston Jared.
Peace.
Keep it popping, y'all.